Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Ben, and in this episode of the Smoking Hot Confessions BBQ Podcast, we're talking with a man who started a global barbecue business from his garage in Tasmania. Hey family, I hope you're well wherever you are and you got that thin blue smoke rolling. This is episode 127 of the Smoking Hot Confessions BBQ Podcast, and in this episode we're talking with Michael Kerkham, aka MAKA from MAKA Toolbelts and Kniferolls. But before we get into that, I've just got a couple of announcements I've got to run by you first. Firstly, the newest review is up on the website now. It's a review of the grill gun by Grill Blazer. So head on over to smokinghotconfessions.com. It's on the homepage. Check that out. And if you do decide to get one, make sure you use the code word confessions at checkout. You'll save 10% on that grill gun. It's a really fun bit of kit. You're going to love it. The second thing is, if you haven't joined us yet, make sure you come over to Facebook and join us on the Smoking Hot Confessions barbecue community on Facebook. It is one of the kindest, nicest, most friendliest groups out there. Everybody's welcome and all the BS is left at the door. So if you're looking for somewhere to just to come and hang out and spend some time with nice people talking about barbecue, that's the group for you. And lastly, I just want to throw a shout out to today's sponsor, which is Meat and Fire Media Services. They're currently offering a brand building through strategic social media marketing course, which is aimed specifically at barbecue related businesses. And if you use the code word podcast at checkout, you're going to save $100 off that course. So do make sure you check that out if you do have a barbecue business and you're looking to attract more clientele, get some more eyeballs on your stuff. That's definitely a good way to get started. Now, for this episode, we're speaking with MAKA from MAKA Toolbelts and Kniferolls. And I first actually met MAKA at Meatstock Melbourne in 2018, and I fell in love with his gear straight away. And so it took me about 12 months to line it all up and to get everything ready, but I wound up getting a knife roll and matching apron. And you've probably seen them. I take them to all the competitions and all the different demos and things that I do around the place. So odds are you've already seen me using this stuff. It's absolutely beautiful. And tonight we're going to get into that. Now, not only are they highly popular in Australia, they're also being shipped all around the world. And we're going to ship one to one of you. So we are going to do a giveaway, which is super cool. MAKA is going to put up a custom colored 5-pocket knife roll with your logo or your name laser etched onto it. So we're going to give the details for that competition at the end of the episode. So make sure you watch all the way through to the end. That's really cool, and seeing as we're all excited about this now, let's get MAKA in here.
This is the internationally awarded Smoking Hot Confessions Barbecue Podcast with your host, Ben Arnott. How long's it been since your last confession?
All right, MAKA, my friend, welcome to the Confessional. How are you?
G'day. How are you, Ben? Yeah, I'm well. I'm well, thanks. Yep.
Yeah, me too. How's springtime in Tasmania?
Oh, beautiful. Look, I'm in a T-shirt, in a MAKA T-shirt, no less.
Yeah, there you go.
So, it's really good down here. But I have to let you in on a secret. I'm in the workshop and I've got the heat pump on. It's a bit nippy down here today, but it's okay in the shed.
Yeah, I thought that might have been the case. It's you're in Tasmania, and so for the American listeners, that's you're almost at the opposite end of the country to me. I'm further up north and you're right down the bottom. So just
exactly like a little Texas.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. So my friend, what was the last thing that you barbecued?
Well, the last thing I barbecued was actually brisket. I've got a girl that works for me who's soon to become an apprentice.
Wow.
And yeah, so she had a birthday and that, and I made some brisket up and took around there, and I think I've converted a few people to barbecue, and now I've been asked to cook at their Bathurst weekend. So
wow,
it must have been all right.
So tell me about that brisket. How did you do it? What barbecue did you cook it in?
I put it in the Weber kettle, and I've put it on an offset system. So I've got baskets on the one side and meat on the other, and got it up to about 2:30 and just let it sit. Took about five hours unwrapped. It sort of got to a bit of a stall point, and it was colder day. It was a colder day, so the fire sort of got to a bit of a stall point where it was just maintaining its heat, but it wasn't sort of like getting that colour right. So so I had to put a bit more coal onto it, a bit more charcoal, and away we went again. So, but and then wrapped it. Had it back in for another couple of hours, rested for an hour. I sort of cheated a bit too. I texted a mate at Weber Barbecue, Kevin, that was on last week, just to double check what should I do. And so I hope he doesn't. I think we could say mates now if I've asked him later on, sort of like, a couple of tips here and there. So it's pretty good, but he's a nice bloke. Nice bloke.
He is, yeah. We had him on the show here about 2 weeks ago and he just sung your praises, my friend.
I know. I seen that. I'm just so humble. Oh, fantastic. I just, yeah.
So that Weber kettle that you were talking about, is that your favourite barbecue to cook on? What else have you got?
I've got, it probably is. And it was given to me by Jimmy Anderson only a few years ago.
From the smoking joint.
Yeah, and that was through the barbecue community, sort of getting to know. I said, has anyone got one? Because I was going to buy a new one, and I said, I'd like to just practice a little bit and make sure it's for me and do it. But, so Jimmy had one and, it's in good condition and just sort of like the handles were a bit rough. So I made these leather covers for the Weber handle and that to wrap around, and they've done all right. They've done the job and sort of keeps the heat off them. And just spruced it up. I've just brought a Weber, one of those donut grill ones so you can put your volcano in the middle.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yep. They've got the removable centerpiece.
Yes. So got one of them, so I can sort of like, you know what it's like. Boys with their toys, you start to get these little bits and pieces. So, I'm excited about that. What else? I've got a Finetto bullet smoker. Done some lamb on that. Done some lamb, done some chicken, done some a couple of briskets as well on that. Not as successful because it was sort of like learning and all that a little bit more. So I've done quite a few. Then I bought a rotisserie, like Brazilian type one through Rotisserie Barbecue guys, Cam and Mariana.
Yeah. A Perilla.
One of the flaming coals ones. So, and that's been really good because I've got the skewers and I brought one of those baskets that rotisserie the veggies or a bit of meat. You can sort of, I don't know, what do you call it? Splayed the chicken, cut it through and then open it up.
I think I know the grill that you're talking about. Is the one that's got several sticks on it, or is it one like a?
Yeah. It's got the 3 along the top, and then you got your kebabs.
So it's the Cypress Grill, not the Perilla.
Yeah.
The Cypress Grill. Yeah.
I couldn't. So and we've got limited room on our deck and that, and I've got brought that the other week, and then I had to make a cover for a customer in Arizona. He's a private investigator over there, and I've made him a couple of aprons. Believe it or not, his name's Bond. So how appropriate. So I love it. anyway, I've made some stuff for him, and that was for a Green Mountain Grill pellet fire. So anyway, while I was out, there was a place in Hobart called Pellet Tasmania, and they sell them. And I went over there to try them out to make sure the hood that I'd made up would go over, a leather cover would go over the barbecue. So while they were there was this pizza oven. And I noticed that last time and the time before I went, 3 times we went out just to make sure it was all fit and perfect. The sort of guy I am, I thought, it's got to be right. No, I can tweak this. Anyway, they had this pizza oven there, and it had started up at this price, a high price, and then it dropped a couple of hundred, and then it dropped another couple at this sale. Let's do it. So I bought a pizza oven. So now I've got a Weber kettle, a Finetto, the Cypress Grill, pizza oven. Oh, and my steak machine extraordinaire, the PK, grill. So who I've got off a local supplier who brings them into Australia. So
that's Hazy Peak Barbecues, isn't it?
Sorry?
Hazy Peak Barbecues.
Yes, Hazy Peak. Yeah, so the boys looked after me there, and I like that one too because they've all got their own little, as I say to the missus, yeah, but you can't use one for everything. It's one bit for this and this for that. So, yeah, so that's what I tell her anyway, so I can keep getting some toys.
Of course, yeah. My wife's capped me at 15 though. She said because I'm at 15 now. She's like, that's it, no more. If another one comes, you got to say goodbye to one you've got. And so I just can't say goodbye to any of them at the moment. I'm just not emotionally ready. So
that's good to know. I've still got a couple to go then.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So tell me, how did you get into barbecue? Has it been something that's been a part of your life for forever?
Yeah, we'd done a lot of open fire cooking when we went to shacks and that and barbecues, and grandparents had a shack up at Scamander, up at the northeast Tasmania, up around Scamander and St Helens. We're on the beaches and that, and we used to cook up crays in the pot and just have fresh, and wander down and cook up brims. So there was catch a brim, and bring them home and cook them up. So sort of normally on a hot plate. So there was always sort of fire and that about, which was always good. But I'm sort of a bit of an obsessional sort of guy, as you can see, all this leather and stuff around me. I throw myself into things. So, I threw myself into a few other things, and, sort of didn't sort of get to barbecue a lot, sort of like in my early adulthood, but I think I'm making up for it now. So,
I dare say so, yeah. Now, you briefly started to mention the barbecue scene in Tasmania. Tell us a bit about what the scene's like down there.
Well, at the moment, there was a association that had started up 2 years ago, and it was going well. They started. I wasn't involved in it, but they'd sort of started it all up, and things were rolling along. And over time, there wasn't enough new blood coming into it, and I think it was the same people. It's same people sort of doing the work. So something gives sometimes. So the actual organising a competition sort of side of it sort of gone by the wayside. But I can tell you there's some groups on Facebook, the Tasmanian Barbecue, and all those sorts of groups are going really well. So there is a lot of fire lovers down here, and it will only be a matter of time before we can get something up and going again. even an SCA, smaller sort of comp situation might be a way to go. But I'd love to do it a little bit more, but I'm sort of so busy with my own life. It makes it hard to sort of, because as you know, sort of some of the businesses and that, they sort of like, quite absorbing of your time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
so you've got to pick something you love doing.
Now you're quite the storyteller. I'm just wondering if you might have maybe a funny barbecue story you could share with us.
Oh no, there's probably some that I can't mention on a PG. But I was sort of trying to think the other day. I was lucky enough to be at a KCBS competition in Perth, WA, in 2019, which seems so long ago. But who would have known? Now, so when I was over there, I was invited over to do a stall in that, and the guys over there had asked me to make. Mo's done some courses over there with Jason Linto with Barbecues Events Australia, and Harry Sue, so I've made rolls for them. But anyway, so I went over this time and had a stall there first time, so it went really well at this event, and people were just so nice over there, as they are in every comp I've been to, and that. It's just leaving one family and going to another family, and it's sort of like, if you need somewhere to crash, come and crash at our place, or you need something, you need me to go and get something. So sorry, I'll get back on track. So while I was there, I met Harry Sue, and it's one of the people I'd met, and Bill Dumas. Anyway, while I was there, Harry wanted a roll made for his lovely girlfriend, Donna. And so we were having a bit of discussion, so like what she wanted, what colour she liked, bit of stitching, bit of engraving and all that. And Harry's saying, we should put names on, like serial numbers, because they could be collector's items later on, just like Weber Kettle.
That's a good idea, yeah.
You know, they always stamp them all individually. So I said, let's food for thought. But anyway, so I said, before you go, I've got a couple of T-shirts. So I've got a couple of my MAKA T-shirts done by Cy. He's done a lot of the meat stock work and all those big mural boards. So I'll turn around for those. I'm turning around. Now I'm just flashing off my...
just showing us the back of the T-shirt there.
Now, so anyway, so I gave one of these T-shirts to Harry, and I said, right, I've got to go. It was about getting late in the evening, sort of 11:30. We all had stuff to do the next day. So anyway, so I went to bed, got up in the morning, sort of like heading out. I go around the corner. Who do I see? Harry Sue. G'day, Harry. And I realised he's wearing one of my T-shirts. He was wearing that same T-shirt. And it was a bit like, oh, my God. So I said, Harry, stay there. I had to get a photo. So he's in the middle of the hallway, just come back from the pool, wearing my shirt on, and I'd only just bought them and got them going. So, that was pretty cool.
Got a project you'd like to work on with the SHC team? Shoot Ben an email on ben@smokinghotconfessions.com and let's have a conversation.
All right, so let's move on to the second segment of our episode now, and I want to focus specifically on MAKA Toolbelts and Kniferolls. So tell us a bit about how that got started.
Well, okay. Probably by accident, really. I'm a horticulturalist by trade, so I'd worked. My parents had a business, a mowing business like Jim's Mowing before all that come about. Had a then moved into landscaping. I did that, went travelling. I travelled Australia for 4 years, and I reckon I had 3 barbecues on that trip.
Oh, wow.
So I'm now going, see if I knew barbecue people back then, I would have had some amazing barbecue, I'm sure. But that was nearly 30 years ago, mind you. So, yeah, so from there, I did that and then worked as a groundsman at a college, Rosny College down in Hobart. I was there for about 22 years, and I was full-time, then went to part-time. And then I bought a sewing machine, and that was back in 2009. About 2009. Just a little industrial one from a leather place down the road, and bought some upholstery leather that they had there, because I used to make chairs and lounges. Anyway, I started making stuff, and then some friends wanted some rolls, tool rolls and things. And then I started making some tool belts and some nail pockets and things like that. And then it just sort of like, and then it just moved along, and, I'm going to need a brand. And so from the brand, the MAKA became on the tool belts, which was MAKA, Michael, here's the scoop, Michael Anthony Kerkham Agency. So there you go, there's the MAKA. So I was always sort of Mac earlier on, because it's sort of in the family and that. So it was just obvious, put an A on there. So MAKA's pretty Australian. So yeah, and it's worked well for me, my branding. Most MAKAs are pretty laid back and relaxed. So like, I think that's me. So yeah,
there's not too many more names that are more Australian than MAKA.
Well, there you go. So, so from there, and then it was my first knife roll in 2011. Someone had given me an old roll, and it was just one of those Mandura, I think the brand is, canvasy sort of cordura. And, I sort of had a play on that, put some up on my website, then sold a couple, and then someone from the Discovery Channel, they were doing a show called The Nomad Chef on, which is going to be played on Discovery Channel by an unknown chef by the name of Jock Zonfrillo. Now, I don't know if you get to see any TV at the moment on mainstream commercial, but Jock Zonfrillo is now one of the head compares on MasterChef.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, he's the Scottish guy, but he's also got Arana in Adelaide, which is, I think they got best restaurant in Australia last year. So his was the first sort of this same sort of style that we have today in a MAKA Kniferoll was created for a program on Discovery Channel called The Nomad Chef.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So then it just sort of like that aired in 200 countries around Australia.
Wow.
Around the world, plus Australia. And, so I thought, geez, there might be something in these knife rolls. So I sort of revamped the knife rolls. Then I was in the Meet the Maker in the Gourmet Traveller magazine. So from the Gourmet Traveller magazine, it's sort of like a section in there. And then a person that wanted to buy one out of there was because I did a pop-up shop and that, so as well. Oh, no, that was a little bit later on. Sorry. It's sort of like it's like, wow, it just started to snowball and move along. So from there, the Gourmet Traveller magazine, the first barbecue team come along that wanted one, and it was Natural Born Grillers. Yeah. See, and that was just sort of like, I think they'd just done that barbecue show with
Aussie
Ben
Barbecue Heroes.
Yeah, Ben O'Donoghue. Which had brought a MAKA Kniferoll. And I think that was just from the, just before the Gourmet Traveller magazine. So that was the first barbecue team. It was a cross between him and the guys in Canberra, the Regulators.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they did a name change as well. So
they've got the smoker that looks like a big revolver, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
The name escapes me at the moment. I'm sorry, mate. I know it so well. Anyway, so they do catering in Canberra and that. So you guys in Canberra know who I mean. So yeah, hit them up. And,
we got the business name right at least.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So from there, and then Meat Stock come along. Oh no, sorry, went back. Then Gourmet Traveller magazine did a pop-up shop in Sydney. Then they wanted me to do 10 rolls for there. Then they sold out. And then I got a phone call saying, Manu Fidel's here to looking at the rolls, asking questions. So then Manu brought a roll, and since then he's had one of those rolls on a cooking show. So then that went around the place. He did a trip across America, and he was rolling his knife roll out in the show.
Wow.
So every show they do a cooking thing and you'd see the roll. And that's what Jocks and Frilla was doing also on the Nomad Chef show. So so as everyone knows, you undo a roll, you just want to fling them out and just let them roll. So yeah, because everything's secure in them, so you can do that. Now, so from there, Manu's ordered a few things and done a barbecue movie, and I
was going to ask about that.
Yeah, and he popped along to Meat Stock to see me there, and I was sort of like, this is insane. So like, so that was really nice. And then when I did the first Meat Stock in 2017, that was like, wow. Yeah, that was insane. So I had so much fun.
Actually, 2017 must have been the year that I first met you, not 2018, because I remember that my wife was 17. There. She was with me in 17. She wasn't with me in 18. So, yeah, that must have been 17 was when we first met.
That's right. And I think there was a small Meat Stock in 2016 was the first one, but I think it really sort of started. I think Jay and Adam and had started to develop that framework from 2017. It just took off.
Huge.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be back in 21. Whether it's going to be
both hands, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. And if it's going to be on a smaller scale, so be it. But I know everyone wants to get back there and meet up and talk barbecue. So and shop barbecue. So no, it's good. It's good. Yeah. And Tuffy Stone was the first pitmaster that came over to the meat stocks and that. I think, so in 2017, and I could see him sort of walking past, and he was, Jess Broyles was there as well, and they were talking. He was sort of walking past, and I could see his head sort of turning back, looking at the time. So I sort of said, "Oh, that's Tuffy Stone." So I seen him come back another time, going the other way, and his head's turning again. So I thought, next time I see him, I'm going to go over. Seen him again. I said, "Oh, g'day, Tuffy. G'day, how are you? I'm MAKA." So I make these rolls in Tasmania. It's the southern state of Australia. And said, "I don't know whether you've seen them before. Come on over and have a look." And, he loved it.
So good.
And then he's got 2 rolls now. So, an amazing guy, really, really nice. We still chat. He sent me a cookbook. I bought his cookbook and he said, "Thanks, MAKA. I hope to catch up soon. Thanks for making the best knife rolls in the world."
Nice. Very nice.
Insane. Just, and that's, he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to say that. I was just ordering a cookbook and not expecting anything like that. So it's just nice to sort of it's nice having little endorsements, knowing you've got doing the right thing. So
exactly. No doubt about that at all.
If you put a little bit of yourself into your work, it goes a long way. People, and be yourself.
Yeah. So it started as a hobby, and now it's grown into this. You're shipping them all around the world now. I'm looking at your workshop there behind you. I can see 200 odd pieces of leather rolled up in the shelves there behind you. What sort of scale is it on now? Are you full time knife rolling now, or leather gooding? I should say.
Yeah, that was sort of the plan. Once I could see it evolving, that was the plan. I sort of we moved to Sorel in 2007. So my time frame for making the rolls and things might have been a little bit out, because I think we moved to Sorel in 2007. So it might have started evolving a little bit in 2007. So, because we were in a 2-bedroom house. It was our first house that we bought on 400 square metres, which is probably an average size house at block now. But back then, was sort of growing, as I was doing the level work, I was in a 3x3 metre shed, and it was a tin shed, and it was hot, and believe it or not, it gets up to 40 sometimes in Tasmania. So that's not Fahrenheit, American friends. That's Celsius as well.
That's about 112 degrees Fahrenheit or something outrageous. Yeah.
So, so once we moved down here, the wife looked at the house, I seen the shed, and well, the house must have been all right because we bought it. But so from a size perspective of sort of what it is, it's not a factory. What it is, it's a 3-car garage. It's one of those, you got 2 roller doors and a workshop area.
Yep.
I've got no cars. My car, just got one car parks in the driveway. So, it can stay out there. And now I've got a shipping container outside for storage and another shipping container down the road at a higher place, just so I can sort of spread out a little bit. And so I've got a couple of sewing machines down there. And I've just started developing some other little side products and that. And that was because I wanted to develop them, and I had in the back of my head that, leather, you're sort of it's paying respect to the animal as well. Part of the leather is part of the paddock to the plate sort of thing as well. So like, I don't want to waste the leather.
Yeah,
I've just started making leather holsters for butchers. So they've got their little white holsters that they put on their knives in at the sides of the hip. So I've dressed them up, and they've got beautiful green ones and red ones and black ones. So it just looks stylish. You're putting your knives into a beautiful leather pocket. So I've done a couple now that have got crocodile print on them. So, brown tan crocodile print for their knife sheaths. So there's some pretty flash butchers out there now, but taking pride. A lot of butchers take a lot of great pride in their shops and that. So it's great to be able to make them look like they are taking pride in themselves and what they're wearing. And there's some MAKA aprons and MAKA matching leather holsters, and then it's great. So that's why I don't throw anything out.
You're listening to the internationally awarded Smoking Hot Confessions podcast with massive barbecue nerd Ben Arnott.
Alrighty, so as we roll into the third segment now, MAKA, I thought we might take this opportunity to talk a little bit about leather care. So there's a whole lot of barbecue teams out there now. We do have all the rolls and the aprons and all that sort of stuff. Barbecue guys, we tend to be pretty hard on our stuff. We're pretty good at wearing stuff out and breaking stuff. So how do we take care of our MAKA Kniferolls and other assorted leather goods?
Yep. Good question. Now, and hopefully not every barbecue team has one, and I think there's always new blood coming through. So, So, right, back into the care. There's a lot of fat and grease and dirt and wet and all that around. Rolling around in the cars and the boots, and I know you've sort of, So what I do, I've actually just done a little segment and put up on my Facebook with leather care, and that is, if you've got a real dirty roll, like you've dropped a couple of times and you've smudged a bit of grease and dirt and spilt some coffee on it, for example. So you just need to wipe it off with a damp cloth, not soak anything. But then, but sorry, I'm jumped a little bit. But before that, go and buy yourself some saddle soap. Saddle soap, you can get it in, even Woolies and Coles sell it. If they don't have it where you are, you can get it at like your animal feed places, your horse care places, like animal husbandry
co-ops and things.
Yeah. And so get yourself some little saddle soap, a damp cloth, rub it into the can to get a little bit of soap on. Your MAKA roll is a little bit damp, and then you just rub it in, work it in, not just in that one dirty spot, and rub into that, because what can happen is you end up with just a nice big shiny blob there. You don't want to take any colour out or have it super polished, or not unless you want that look. But I sort of tend to sort of like, you want that evenness. So it's a bit like you're waxing it on, and then in circle motion, going around and around and around and working it all over your roll, and you'll get a soapy lather. Just let that sit for a little bit. Just a few minutes, time it gets right through to the end, then come through, wipe it off with just a damp cloth, get all that soap suds off. Then from there, just let it dry out, and then get some dubbing at the same time as you're getting some saddle soap. Dubbin is what you put on your shoes, like to waterproof them. But it's also a leather conditioner. So you'll get the conditioning, the softening, and waterproofing all in one. Now, I use a brand called Joseph Liddy. Now, that's an Australian company, Australian made. Works fantastic. So you can jump online, look for it as well. I think it's LIDDY. So S. So yep. And then buff it up same way. So with the dubbin, apply it. So it's a bit like Channel the Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off. So you get that motion moving and then moving across your leather, so you're not just working on one spot and just moving it right across. Don't use huge amounts of globs of it. Just sort of like clean it off your cloth, so it's sort of like just on the cloth but not in a big glob. And then just work it across your roll. Once that's been applied, let it dry a little bit, then you can get a clean cloth and then just polish it up. So that's on the hide side. That's not the suede side.
Yep.
Now, the suede side is the inner side, the fluffier part of the inside of the roll. You can use a little bit of just warm soapy water on that if you like. Really make sure it's dry when you finish. Or if you've got a new one, you can spray Scotch Guard. Like you can buy Scotch Guard in a spray can, aerosol can at your
supermarkets. Yep.
Yeah. So you can spray that on the inside, and that will water repel and stain repel a lot and enable you to wipe over and wipe off some stains on the flesh side, so on the suede side. So, yeah, there you go. So, but if you do have any problems and that, you just yell out, and you don't have to just use Liddy's conditioner. There's a multiple range of leather conditioners. A lot of people have got horses and that have used their own stuff. So yeah.
So when the MAKA Kniferoll first arrives, then should we rub that dubbin into it from the start to start off with a protective coating?
No, because it's been really, really heavily and evenly applied from when I get it. I get the hides. So the people that are seeing the video here, I've got hides behind me, and I get the hides in bundles of 6. And when I open them up and I go to use them, I put a dubbin on that hide for it to even cut down. So then I'll make the roll. It's got all the holes in it, cutting the holes and punching the holes, sewing, riveting, and then they get another dubbin after that. So it's penetrated into it and protected quite well. So you're good to go for 6 months. If you're a really messy kitchen chef or a barbecuer and that, you can put it on every 3 months. But yeah, it just sort of like, depends on the leather. I do an old world leather as well, which an old world look. People just get it and then just let it go. So leather knife rolls aren't going to be outside in the blistering sun all the time. And yeah, they're not going to be left outside. So to be honest, if you didn't want to condition it, it'll still last. But just take a bit of care in it, because if I see it on a table, I go, man, what's going on? Oh, I love that roll. That was one of my favourites, making that roll. show some love. Put
You're
some
going to take it
dubbing on
personally.
it. Yeah.
Now, what if the worst happens and we end up with like a score or a scratch in the outer leather?
Right. Okay. First thing, don't let that happen.
So prevention is better than cure. Okay.
Prevention always. It's like a bad back. Prevention is better than the cure. Yeah. And so it's hard. Like, if you do get a bad scratch, apply the dubbing into it because you want to protect that flesh, the suede that's been cut and exposed underneath a little bit. You can glue patches on them, make it your own, but I don't know if it's a bit of character too, isn't it? It just depends on. Sometimes, some people might just say, "Oh yeah, I'll use that. That's my old knives. Go and buy some new knives. Use it as an excuse. Go and buy more knives." Yeah. There's plenty of great makers around Australia making knives and that, and sort of 9-finger forge and dog boy knives and Ben Florent knives, Winter Forge. Tom Honslow knives. I'll tell you what, if you want some knife makers' names, just yell out. I'll send you a list.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
There's some boys in the barbecue scene that make knives, beautiful knives. So, yeah, just ask around on the groups. You'll get pointed in the right direction.
Yep. Everyone's got their favorite recommendations for knife makers. So, yeah,
exactly.
Definitely be lots of good advice around there.
Exactly. And I've got a bit of a knife collection now due to I used to swap some rolls for some knives earlier on in the piece, but I've got so many knives now. I'm sort of running out of hanging space and 3 or 4 rolls. So no, sorry, folks.
No more bartering.
No more.
Fair enough. Now, tell us a little bit about this knife roll that you're going to put up for the giveaway. So it's going to be custom coloured. Tell us a bit more about it. Right.
Okay. So I thought about this coming on and that, and it's sort of like I've had people on before saying, how nice they are, and they really enjoy having one and that. And I thought, well, it's coming up to Christmas and that, and so I'm sort of thinking, well, let's celebrate and give one away. And what I'm going to do, I didn't want to just say, here's a black one. Here's a brown one. This is what I've got left over in the shop. I wanted to make it a bit special. If whoever wins can have it the colour that they want. I've got black, I've got espresso, I've got tan, I've got old world, I've got red, I've got green, and there's a midnight blue. So they've got a choice.
Ooh, nice.
They can choose their rivets, they can choose their stitching, they can get their name on there, they can get their team logo on there. Whatever they want. So it's just a double strap 5-pocket knife roll. And you can make the combinations that you want. That's fine.
Beautiful.
But not everyone can win it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, and if you're thinking about buying a knife roll, put your order in quickly before Christmas gets here, because
good point.
To be honest, I haven't slowed down. It's been insane. So thank you, everyone, for your support. So if someone does put an order in and they do win a roll, I will reimburse that money. So if you think, oh, no, but I want to buy a roll, and you're going, oh, no, I won't because I might win a competition, I will just reimburse that money. So if you've bought one, we'll go from there.
There you go. You're not going to get a much better competition than that, are you? A customised 5-pocket MAKA Kniferoll with a money back guarantee, I guess, to the winner.
Exactly. That if they've pre-purchased, they'll still get to win.
Yeah,
so,
money back guarantee is not quite the right phrase, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, exactly. Well, it's a no risk to someone who buys one.
Yeah.
That if they win it, that they just don't end up with 2 knife rolls.
Because that would be a darn shame, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That's right.
All righty. So we've got some terms and conditions that MAKA and I have worked out here. So what we're going to do is we're going to direct everybody to Facebook and find this video on the Smoking Hot Confessions Facebook page. So if you're watching this video now on Facebook, congratulations, you're already at step 1. And we want you to like and share the video of this interview. So find that. Like the Smoking Hot Confessions page, like the MAKA Toolbelts and Kniferolls page. We will go through, we'll collect all those names, we'll put the names into one of those internet-based random choosers, random selectors, and we'll pick them from random a week from when the video goes live. So the videos always go live at 4 o'clock on a Thursday, Australian Eastern Standard Time, Queensland time. So if you're looking through the Facebook feed for Smoking Hot Confessions, look for that, find this video, like and share this video, like the Smoking Hot Confessions page, like the MAKA Toolbelts Kniferolls page, and you'll be in the draw. So what do you reckon, MAKA? I think it's about time for you to start giving some shout outs and some thanks and tell everybody where they can track you down on all your different social media platforms.
Okay, thank you. Well, thanks to you, Ben, for having me on the show. It's a great job. Thank you. Now, because if it wasn't for people like you and guys in America doing a similar thing, like Kevin over in BBQ Beats and that, it doesn't get the traction. Thank you to Jay and Adam at Meatstock and that, it's just pushed my exposure out, and also Rowan Peterson in northeast Tassie. If it wasn't for Rowan, I wouldn't have got into to barbecue. So that's a big shout out. Also, Dan Barrett, he won his first MAKA and only MAKA Kniferoll in Tasmania at his first comp when he was a newbie.
Right.
There you go. But so as far as there's too many. My missus is probably my number one sort of fan.
Probably should have led with that.
And she's had a hard sort of November through to February and that with illness, and the business has kept me busy and kept me sane. So that's been really wonderful. Thank you for everyone for supporting me and keeping me sane and happy and never working a day in my life.
That's beautiful, man. Look, I'm just going to say thank you so much for coming on board the show and sharing your story with us this afternoon.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
There you have it, family. That was the one and only MAKA from MAKA Toolbelts and Kniferolls. How genuine is that guy? We were laughing and joking about how, you can't get a much more Aussie name than MAKA. You're not going to meet a much more down-to-earth, real Aussie guy than MAKA himself. So that was great to have him on board the show and find out the whole story behind these MAKA Kniferolls that everybody loves so much. And just a reminder, we are doing that giveaway, which is super exciting. And just to refresh your memory, it's a fully customized 5-pocket knife roll. So you can pick the color, you can pick the stitching, you can pick the different buckles. It's incredible the amount of custom work that MAKA can do there for you. And he's also going to laser etch either your logo or your name onto it for you, which is super cool. So to enter, you need to track down this video on the Smoking Hot Confessions Facebook page. It'll be dated on the Thursday at 4 p.m. So if you're scrolling back through the feed, look for that. You need to like and share this video. You need to like the Smoking Hot Confessions page, and you need to like the MAKA Toolbelts and Kniferolls page. And before we close out, just some quick reminders of those announcements from the top. The Grill Gun by Grill Blazer review is now up on the website. Check that out. 10% off if you do decide to get one. Use the code word Confessions. Come join us at the Smoking Hot Confessions barbecue community on Facebook. And big thank you to today's sponsor, Meat and Fire Media Services. If you are looking to get your brand out there, do use that code word podcast at checkout, and you'll save $100 off that course. And so that is a wrap. That is all the time that we do have for today. So until next time, take care of each other and keep on queuing.
Thanks for listening to the Smoking Hot Confessions podcast. Head on over to smokinghotconfessions.com for recipes, tips, and Ben's own confessions.